Good afternoon, class. So today is 7th of March and today is Sunday, so you must know about the other articles that are going to be coming. No article in first four pages. Directly going to the three-member expert panel that will take stock of the turtle conservation. Now, please understand this conservation of turtle is very important on the eastern coast. Lot of people are confused that sir, we do not remember the states, we do not remember the places, we do not remember where the wildlife sanctuaries are. Please try to learn it from the bigger perspective. When I talk about the western front or the eastern front, please remember the turtle are maximum turtles you will find on the eastern front. So for example, if I talk about Gangetic dolphin or where the dolphin are found, these are found in the upper Ganga region. Okay, so that is in the Gangetic basin. So you should remember all these things and try to remember this particular thing in the same context also. Now let us talk about the other things that are happening. Now first of all, the Odisha High Court has asked for a panel. This panel was basically to assess the situation prevailing for the conservation and the not the rehabilitation, for the conservation and the protection of the olive ridley, and how they are going to be basically existing in the nature. What are the conservation efforts that are needed to be implemented for them? So this is Gahir Matha marine sanctuary that is located over there. There are two marine sanctuaries in India. You should remember the name of the both. Okay, these are two famous sanctuaries. There are other sanctuaries also. Okay, but these two you should know. One is situated at the Sri Lanka, around Sri Lanka and Tamil Nadu region, and the second one is situated in the second one situated in the Odisha region. Okay, so I hope this is clear. The next news is related to a help desk for transgender. Now, in a first, there is a transgender community desk that is situated in Hyderabad. So that is alternatively called as Cyberabad. You should remember it. They have inaugurated this. Now, please understand here the woman, sorry, not the woman, but the transgender person can come. They can file offenses related to violence or any form of discrimination committed by any other person. And apart from that, there will also be various guidance system that will be enforced into account. For example, if you have to develop any type of soft skills, job placements, and that will also be working under the Department of Women and Child Welfare. So you should know about it. The next news is related to India, Japan, Cool to Colombo offer of new port project. So I hope you remember Sri Lanka kicked out India and Japan from the Western container terminal. Now they have offered India and Japan another alternative in the form of Eastern Container Terminal. India and Japan right now have said that the actions or the unilateral action taken by Sri Lanka is regrettable. We hope that there will be some negotiation and thawing of the relationship between the two countries as the irreparable damage that they have done. They have issued clarification on two things. First thing, they have issued clarification that the government of India have not announced any discussion, or the discussions are still going on with respect to whether we will take up the Eastern Container Terminal or not. The second issue they have commented upon is the issue related to the Cabinet of Sri Lanka, which have made a statement that it is for India to decide to which company they basically want to give the work of the Western Container Terminal. Indian government have said that these statements are completely malice, and they are not being issued by the Indian government because the Indian government does not have any control on the project. There is a consortium of all the people who are coming together. In that, Adani business is a majority business, which is decided by the Sri Lankan port authorities itself. So India have no role to play in to decide that which of the companies will be giving or will be given that foreign contracts, or which of the companies will not be given that foreign contracts. So this is what they have said. I hope this is clear. The next question is the NRI quota. So this is overseas citizen of India. I hope you remember there are no overseas citizen of India because India does not allow dual citizenship. They allow a card in which a citizen basically holds the passport of some other country, but still he can be called as overseas of citizen of India because of Indian origin and some other issues. Now, two news regarding them. The first news is they are now allowed to conduct any missionary mountaineering journalism activities in India if they want to. but they will have to register or take a special mission permission, special permission from FFRO. FFRO is a Foreign Reason Registration Office, where if there is a particular person, he exists for an extended period of time, he will have to just report over there that I am existing in your country. And that is how it have worked over the years. When we talk about the overseas citizen of India, the another clarification is with respect to the whether they can participate in Indian examinations, the reputed examination, for example, NEET, and then we have JEE under the Indian quota. So the clarification as or the rules that has been issued or the guidelines that has been issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs have said that they can apply under the NRI quota, but they will not be equivalent in comparison to the students who are existing in India. So they can apply under the NRI quota. So basically increasing the horizon of the applications from multiple countries now. I hope this is clear. The next one is the NST likely to get National Institute of Importance status. Now, please understand National School of Drama was established in 1954. It has not been mentioned here. When we will study the Indian yearbook, we will talk about the National School of Drama also. So it is situated in Delhi and it has 4 regional centers located at Agartala, Gangtok, Bengaluru and Varanasi. Recently, there have been various efforts by the NST chairman, who is Paresh Rawal. He have said that he basically wanted to make this institute as a institute of national importance sooner or later, and he have basically worked for it. The government is in consideration. Once the government decide, they will grant the National Institute of Importance status to this particular institution. Now, the another question should be that what are the objectivity of basically granting a national importance or institute of national importance institution to certain objects. So there are certain autonomy aspects that are associated. There are talented person who come in. There is up to certain aspect, the collaboration can be established with the foreign universities. And apart from that, there is also with respect to quota, there is some exemption that is being provided so that the quality could be maintained. So that's why the National Institute of Importance is the eminent tag that most of the institutions want to have. And there is a separate law that basically conduct the regulations and the information, that is the National Importance Institution. I think ACT I have forgotten 2011 or 2008, but this is how somewhere the National Institutes Importance Act has been enacted and the institutions are currently working under this. If we talk about all the IAMs, then these IAMs are basically working as a part of National Institute of Importance. We are National Importance Important Institute. Okay, further moving on, the next one is the man behind the coup. So I think enough we have talked about the Myanmar and the things that are currently going on. Now, Myanmar military ruler basically is quelling all the protests with from the brute force that he is currently using. He have made no room for any type of dissent, and repression is the basic policy right now, it seems, in Myanmar. Now, what is the problem in the Myanmar army? We have already talked about it. I think enough details has been known to you now. There are 2 or 3 major problems. First of all, the army is losing hold. The policy initiative that the democratic government is currently taking with respect to China and other countries. Then the other part is the army which was backing a particular party was not able to win. So these are some of the things that they have talked about. So isko chhod dijiye, not important. Next one is the Kerala's delayed approach towards herd immunity. So this is not important. The next one is the clustering education institution and research centers. Now this is very, very important article. Usually we do not accept from Sunday's newspaper such an important article, but this time it is. Now what is the issue here? The issue is with respect to the national education policy. The one proposal the national education policy have set is to provide a multidisciplinary universities which will have all the trades and all the things from every aspects and part of life. So if there will be establishment of university, it will not solely focus on technical aspects or on technical academia. It will focus on social sciences and it will focus on another part that are there. And the students will be allowed credits. These credits will be carried on from one semester to another semester. They can basically take up the credits according to the interest that they are currently having, so that there will be an interdisciplinary or interlinked approach in the subjects that the students want to study. Now, so far as we have said, the one proposal that the national education policy have said is the cluster based approach. Now they have defined the cluster based approach in multiple parts. First of all, they have talked about the Homi Bhabha National Institute. Now, this institute was established in 2005 on the basis of cluster approach. Now, when I say cluster approach, most of the time the usual thinking in the mind of the people is that they are the institutes who are located in a particular area. Now, he says that the clusters should not only be factored in on the basis of the geographical considerations, but on the basis of the disciplines, on the basis of the departments, on the basis of research, and even on the basis of the faculties. Because there may be certain faculties who are having a certain research and then they have taken, due to some family issues, they have moved away from one another, but they want to collaborate. So they can, on their behalf, the universities can also collaborate on the basis of institute. In the case of Homi Bhabha National Institute, we have a collaboration with Caltech. Caltech is the institute that is located in USA. So our scientists, there is a course for which a certain period of time you go to foreign university, you conduct a research over there, and then you come back. So that is on the basis of common research. And apart from that, this says that when we talk about India, the doctoral students are basically key to research. Now in India, there is problem that is with respect to the people who are out of the institutions, or generally we call that an external registration program, in which most of the PhDs, when they are being awarded, they are awarded in a distant learning mode. So most of the people are working away from there. Now there could be a workplaces and institution collaboration in which, because when we talk about workplaces, the maximum work of that particular individual is definitely going to benefit the workplaces, and definitely he is going to stay for a more time in the workplaces as compared to the institutions. So these are some of the things he says, that these are the other type of clusters we can actually look for. There is a critical mass that is currently there, and clustering is the promising model that we can use. And please understand, these are some of the things that are needed to be talked about. So what it will do, it will benefit with the synergies, it will benefit with the common research in the common areas, it will cut down the common areas, it will help the like-minded thinking people come forward as a community, and there will be different people who will be collaborating with one another with enough option provided to the individual that which form of thing he want to do. It will not be in the old times like behavior, in which if you get into a particular institution and then you have to abide by all the same laws things, and you have do not collaboration with other part. There will be multiple options that will be available to the students, there will be multiple career prospects that will be there, and therefore it will refine the quality in the research also, and the things or the needs of the industries will be taken care of more comprehensively as compared to the earlier times when there were only one discipline and all the 60 students were able to just see the or follow the same procedure over the years. So I think the persons who are currently completed or preparing for these civil service examinations, they have studied in the same mode. There is a framework that is being given to you, and you do not go away from the framework. So if you are an engineering student and you have an interest in history, nobody is going to allow you to study history. This is what we mean by cluster-based approach. If you want to have your research being conducted as a favor of history, you want to basically conclude the technological aspects of the history, you are not allowed. So these are some of the things that are being debated here. The next one is the Red Eco over India. So I will not go into this. This is a data breach that has been conducted, and on the Maharashtra Cyber Cell, because the clarity of the government have not been out on this particular proposal, there are multiple discrepancies and multiple layers of truth that are still needed to be surfaced in one way or another. The Maharashtra government have made a certain statement in contrast to the central government. Central government have said there have been no breach with respect to any of the cyber attacks, and our technical agencies are basically capable to counter any threat and provide safety to the networks that are currently operating in India. I think yesterday we talked about a cyber security article. I hope you remember, to protect the country asset, the definition of what is the protection, what is the national security. These are things that are still on the debate now, because in the space it is clearly defined that if you are able to protect your satellite, that is your security. But you can also extend the definition of the national security to all those things if you are providing services to some other countries. Let's say I am a country in India, I am providing forecasting to the SAARC nations, and suddenly China have hit up on that particular satellite. I can directly say to the people who are in Asia that your national security is also compromised, because now the satellite that was basically in the air taking care of all the tsunami warnings has been destroyed by China. So it is an immediate threat of aggression committed against you. Okay, so I hope you understand this particular part. So that's why I'm talking about that the security right now is still not defined. That domain is still left out pretty much open by the Indian Parliament. There is no substantial law, there is no doctrine, there is no policy, although the government have tried to basically implement a policy with respect to the security, but we have not seen anything substantial yet from the government on which they have debated on all the aspects of the cyber security. And right now, with upcoming threat, I think it is increasing demand that we define what is national security, whether providing a safe surfing to the people is also national security or not. So I hope this is clear. The next one is the spectrum sale, price test and the road ahead of 5G. So that is another part of the spectrum. I have told you multiple times the government expectations and the government realization. So what is the spectrum? First of all, you picture this because I think the spectrum is very difficult for people to understand. So picture a 8-lane highway. Now let's say the one highway in the 8 lane or one lane of the highway is allocated to Reliance Jio. It will conduct or it will try to maintain that particular spectrum, and the cars will be the data that will be coming to your mobile phone. Okay, so if Jio only owned one lane, then the data processing would be slow. If they owned 2 lane, the data processing will be doubled, and so forth. With the 4 lane, the data processing would be 4 times. So I hope this is clear. Now, with respect to spectrum, there are two kind of things. The spectrum works in frequencies. There are low frequencies, there are high frequencies. The low frequencies are good for penetration, that is going through the buildings, but they can only travel for a smaller distance. Okay, the larger frequencies that are beyond 2000 megahertz, they are better for large propagation or longer propagation. So if the tower is here, it can send signals to the region that is located far beyond 30 kilometer. But in the lower frequencies, if the tower is there, it can only send the signal up to 5 kilometer. So that is the whole trouble here. Now you must know the both things that are currently going on. There is a debate regarding this particular issue, that why the sale that was proposed by the government of India was not able to fetch better prices. And these better prices were only coming for only a small amount of spectrum that was put on sale. So the spectrum that was put on sale was approximately, you can say 2300 megahertz around was put on sale, but out of that only 855 megahertz was able to be generated space. And among that, the problem is with respect to the spectrum sale is that only 40% of it went to sale. There were two reasons that were suggested that the other spectrums were not been in competition or not demanded by any other manufacturer, because right now there are only two major players who are fighting with one another. One is Jio, second one is Airtel. Vodafone is there but is merely surviving, and it can be anytime soon that it will pack its bag and it will leave India, because the data prices, the data prices, the Jio which have led to the reduction, or you can say direct fall or a helicopter drop with respect to the prices, have created the problem for the companies to basically survive in the COVID times. There are long-term loans that Airtel and Vodafone have taken for extending their businesses, which have posed direct threat on the survival of these particular companies. Now, the spectrum sale have not garnered much. The one reason for the lower spectrum that the government of India have put forth is basically that they were overpriced. That is the one suggestion. The base prices was very high, but if there are only two companies, I don't think there will be justice with the base prices. So for example, if there are only 2%, we both know that this is the capacity of that particular part. Right now, most of the people are saying that Jio have bought the maximum amount of spectrum and Jio is currently giving it to the government. Plus, please understand, there are only two major market players. Whatever the rate Jio is currently getting, it is still better to what they have gotten if there were 12 players. Simple market economics. You go to the market, you want to buy a basket, or let's say a yeah, basket of apple, if there are only two-person, you very well know, because you only have to access the mood, the capacity of one person, that how much he can pay. But if they are 12%, definitely you will increase your safe side. ठीक है, जैसे मान लीजिए मार्केट में आप बास्केट ऑफ एप्पल लेने के लिए गए एंड एवरीबडी सेइंग कि अब आप अपनी बिड प्लेस करिए, किसी को कोई नहीं दिखाएगा कितनी बिड प्लेस करेंगे. इफ देयर आर 12%, you may be suspicious of those 11%. It will be difficult for you to assess that which person is thinking of how much money they could spend, what are their intentions, what are their goals. You have to study everything. But if there is only one major player, you very well know that whether he will spend or not. So, in spite of earlier auction that you will bid for, you may be bidding low, you may be getting better results for that. So, I hope this is clear. The next one is the government open to evaluate, explore cryptocurrencies, says Thakur. I hardly believe that he understands anything about cryptocurrencies. But then again, there is an issue that is currently surfacing. And right now, there is going to be a lot of trouble in the case of cryptocurrencies. The government want to launch a digital currency, but they do not want a currency that is not centrally controlled. And up to certain level, it is also understood, because if the currency is not controlled by Reserve Bank of India, then there may be high inflation, and the control of the government will be determined by the international prices, which we do not want in India, because if inflation is very high, then it is a direct burden on the poor and create unaffordable or unimaginable situation for the poor. Although the situation for the poor in India is still not very good, but still it is somewhere manageable by Reserve Bank of India when it increases the interest rate and decreases the interest rate to manage the inflation between 4%, sorry, between 2% and 6%. But with the case of currencies, the control will not be in their hand. So we will have to find an alternative to regulate these currencies. Maybe not use these particular currencies in day-to-day transactions, but they can be used, let's say, in some stock market transactions. If you allow cryptocurrencies in stock market transactions, it will be good, because cryptocurrency everybody will know. But in day-to-day transaction, I think cryptocurrency, the time is still not mature, and the people are still not, you can say, type of have risen to that particular technological capacity or the intellectual capacity that they require for basically the operation of these particular currencies. So I hope this is clear, and I think that is it for today.